Hi, everybody. It's Tina, and welcome to my kitchen. It's fall, and depending upon where you live, the weather may or may not be feeling that way now. But one of the things that I have found is with the right snacks and treats and desserts, you can kind of put yourself into the fall season. So today we're going to have some fun. I've got lots of candy and popcorn and snacky things. Our theme is popcorn and candy corn, popcorn and candy corn. So everything that we're making has one or even both of those items. So let's get started because I've got all kinds of yummies to fix. So we're going to start. I'm going to share with you lots of my favorite tools. I always say that every time I'm cooking, I always say to Chris, I don't know how people function without Tupperware, right? Because I use a lot of Tupperware, even though there's just two of us. When you bake, you need lots of bowls. And so today you're going to see me going through a whole lot of bowls. So now's a great time to be stocking up on those bowls. So let's get started. First of all, the first recipe that we are going to make is kind of a fall candy. And you can do this really any holiday, just changing up some of the different things. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So we're going to start with some white almond bark. So I prefer this over chocolate chips. It melts better. But the key is that you want to heat it up with short bursts. So put it in the first time for about a minute, take it out, stir, put it back in for about 30 seconds, take it out, stir, and probably one more shot, depending upon the wattage of your microwave, of 30 seconds is probably going to be enough. So this is what it will look like when you've got it somewhat melted. So I'm going to put this back in for the last 30 seconds, just so you see what I mean. And then let's talk a little bit about some of the extra yummies that we're going to be putting in this. So this recipe, it has no measurements, so you're just going to kind of eyeball it. But the first thing that you're going to need is a silicone spatula. That's really super important because you don't want anything sticking. And then we also need a silicone mat. You'll notice that I put my spatula already on there, and that's going to go on a firm sheet. So I use my baking sheet. The rest of the items that you're going to need are some pretzels. So I like the little tiny ones, that are kind of shaped like that, but you can use any kind of pretzels. And then Reese's Pieces are yummy, or you can use like Halloween M&Ms and Christmas M&Ms. You can do Easter M&Ms, so you can do this a little bit differently. And then because it is the fall, I'm going to be using harvest corn. There's that candy corn and dried cranberries. Yeah. All right. So it's the sweet and salty kind of going together. All right. So let's take out this yumminess, and it's perfect. Look at that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pour this out on our silicone baking sheet. So the silicone baking sheet is one of my favorite items. I have probably 5 of them in my kitchen because, first of all, you use them for cookies. You line your pan, and that way they get nice and brown, but nothing sticks to your baking sheet. I also use these, as you see now, when I'm making candy. So I love to make turtles. This is a great recipe. Holiday peppermint bark is always fun as well. When you're doing biscuits or cinnamon rolls, anything like that that you're going to put on a baking sheet, you can use this as well. And then the last thing I love it for is wings, because they get all crunchy and yummy. But you can end up wasting and losing a whole lot of that if you don't have a silicone mat, because it sticks to the baking sheet. All right, so my silicone spatula cleaned that guy out pretty good, didn't it? All right, so now what I'm going to do is using my silicone spatula, and I'm just going to turn my camera down so that you can see what I'm going to do. We're just going to spread this out, and we just want a thin layer. So this was not a whole package of the almond bark. You don't need a whole package for this. What's really neat about this is it's so simple and easy to make. This is a really awesome item to prepare and then maybe gift if you're going to somebody's home, or even if you just want to give a gift to my neighbors. I'm always feeding my neighbors treats. So that's kind of a cool thing to be able to do. Okay, so what I'm just going to scoop that off just like that, because I don't want to waste anything at all. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do is put on some gloves because we're going to place our pretzels and we want to make sure that we don't stick. Oh, I got them on the wrong hand. There we go, backwards. There we go. You want to make sure that your hands don't stick, even if you're just eating it with your family. So I'm just going to take these and kind of drop them so that once they land, and again, I'm going to put this down so you can kind of take a look. And we're going to scatter these about single layer. So I filled up, this was about 2/3 of a cup that I filled up. And that's probably more than enough because you don't want it solid pretzels, but you kind of want there to be enough pretzels because this is the salty so that you get like one in every bite. All righty. So there we go. All right, so that's the first thing that we're going to do. All right, so we got all of those in. And then next, we're going to take some of the harvest cream. So this is candy corn, but it's got like a different color to it. So this is really great for Thanksgiving as well. And again, we're just going to sprinkle that around so that you get a little bit all over. So I'm going to sprinkle first, and then I'll come back and move my camera so you'll have an opportunity to see what I've done. Now I chose to make this recipe first because you want to give it a little bit of time to firm up. All right, so take a look. That's what it looks like so far. Yeah. All right, next we're going to use some Reese's Pieces. See if I can open this up. I started it. I'm not sure if I can open it with these gloves on. Oh, these gloves are hard to work with. All right, got it. So again, same thing. You just kind of sprinkle. Whoops. Threw one on the floor. And I want to get a couple around the edges here. My edges are a little bit empty. All right, that's all we use, not much. And then lastly, raisins. All right, so these are great. I like these in salads. It's just a little bit of sweetness. All right. And again, same thing. We're just gonna kind of spread it around. How easy is this? So this is a great recipe to make with your kids or your grandkids as well. They'll love this. They'll love making it, and they'll definitely love eating it as well. Alrighty. So once you open all of these containers, you want to make sure you keep them in Tupperware in your modular mates, because otherwise these cravings will become like little BBs. We don't want to have that happen. I know they come with a little Ziploc on them, but it doesn't always work very well. All right, so everything's on. Now it's the finishing touch. All right, so watch this. This is why you definitely want to have gloves on. You just need to kind of take your gloves and press. You just are kind of setting this is what you're doing. Alrighty, voila. And that's all there is to it. Isn't that awesome? So if you're in a big hurry, you can put this over into the freezer to firm it up a little bit. Look, we've got a little bit of time, so I'm just going to stick it over on the counter. I think it will firm up, hopefully. And now we're going to go on to our next recipe. So the next recipe that we're going to make looks a little bit like something that many of you may have had called puppy chow, but it's a little bit different. So we're going to start off with our rice Chex. So this is 8 cups of rice Chex. All right. And the next thing we're going to do is take 2 more bowls. Right. That's what I said. You need lots of bowls. And in this bowl, I have brownie mix. Now you can buy your brownie mix. I have a recipe. I make my own. So I just keep it in a modular mate. And when I'm ready to make brownies, I just, instead of opening up a box, I just scoop it out of there. So it's really easy to scoop out 3/4 of a cup of brownie mix. So I'm just gonna put that into the bowl, just like that. And then the next thing we're gonna do is take a bowl and we're gonna have 3/4 of a cup of confectioner sugar. All right, so you need 3 bowls for this, and we're not done yet. All right. So next we need some melted chocolate. All right, so let's grab our next batch of yummies over here. Yeah, I can't wait to eat this one. This is really going to be yummy. Okay, so again, I have my chocolate. So this time I use the dark chocolate instead of the white chocolate. So I'm going to put this into the microwave for, again, about 30 seconds. And the other ingredient that I have is peanut butter. Now, if you have peanut allergies, if you can eliminate the peanut butter, you're just going to want to use a little bit more chocolate. So the recipe says that you use 1.5 cups of chocolate and then you use 1/2 cup of peanut butter. If you can't have peanut butter, then just use 2 cups of chocolate. All right. So we're softening that up a little bit. And as soon as that's ready, one of the things I'm going to do with this batch is I'm going to use a different candy corn. I like the lighter color for this one. I just think it looks a little bit prettier. So let me open that up. So the timer went off. All righty. Let's check out our chocolate. This one might need a little bit more because the white chocolate I had started a little bit before we got started. Yeah, this is going to need a little bit more time. All right. We'll do another 30-second blast. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Once we get the chocolate out of the microwave, we're going to stir in the peanut butter. Make sure it's completely stirred in, nice and yummy. And then we're going to pour it over our Chex Mix. Now that sounds pretty delicious right there, but that's not where we're going to finish. Okay, we've got a couple more things to do with it. That's where the brownie mixture and the confectioner sugar come into play. So that'll be fun. All right, so you'll notice I'm using lots of different bowls. I have our That's a bowls. I also have a Fix and Mix, which is one of those items that we don't sell all the time, but it's a very popular item. And the product that I'm using to melt my chocolate is actually our stack cooker. Alrighty. Yum. Now we're going to take the peanut butter and stir that into our chocolate. And we'll probably give it another zap for just a few seconds. So you can always add more time on your microwave cooking, but you can't take it away. So you always want to make sure that you don't use too much. All right. Oh my gosh, I love peanut butter, and I love peanut butter and chocolate even better. One of my favorite ice creams is chocolate ice cream with peanut butter in it. Yum, yum, yum. All right. So chat in. Let me know. Do you like peanut butter? Are you team peanut butter? All righty. Now, it's all melted. And I think it's melted enough. So I'm going to pour this over the top of my Chex. And again, we'll use our spatula to get every last bit out. So now you're thinking, where's the popcorn? There's no popcorn in this recipe, but there is some more candy corn. And candy corn is either one of those things that people love or hate. Now, here's the truth. I don't like candy corn if it's all by itself, but I do like candy corn when it's in a recipe. For some reason, I think the mixture of everything tastes really yummy. All right, so I'm just going to totally make sure we coat all of our cereal completely. So it takes a little while. And man, that's noisy, isn't it? So you want to make sure you have a nice big bowl. So our That's bowls or our Fix and Mixes are great. Now, if you have our mixing bowl set, that would be really good to use for the powdered sugar mixture and the brownie mixture. All right, it's just about done. I still have a little bit of checks that are still showing what I call yellowish. And you want to make sure that every piece is thoroughly coated because the chocolate is going to be the glue. Okay. Almost. How many of you have made puppy chow? If you have, you're probably a little bit familiar with this. So this is just kind of puppy chow with a twist is what it is. All right. Oh yeah. So don't be in a hurry because again, like I said, you want to make sure that every single piece of cereal is coated. Every time I toss it, guess what? I find another piece that doesn't have chocolate on it. Oh, I think it's probably pretty well done. So see, yum. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take half of this mixture. So literally just take your spatula and kind of cut it in half. No. And then the other half is gonna go in with our brownie mixture. So just divide that all up. And scrape it all out so you got all that chocolate yumminess. It's chocolate and peanut butter yumminess. Who's excited about tasting this? Don't I wish you were in my kitchen right now? Okay. Now we're going to put our seal on. This is where the importance of a Tupperware seal comes in. Is we're going to put our seal on. I need to wipe my hands. I have a little bit of chocolate on my fingers and I'm getting it all over the place. There we go. So you want to make sure you run your fingers around the seal all the way. Make sure it's all the way on. I don't have that on. There. And puff the extra air out of it. So now it's on all the way. And we're just going to toss it around like that. And by doing that, guess what? We're going to totally coat this with the confectioner sugar. Stir it around and around. Again, if you've got kids, this is a fun activity for them to do. Just make sure you have the seal completely on and you puff the air out of it. When you puff the air out of it, our seals are not only airtight, but they are liquid tight too. All right, now on to the one with the brownie mixture. I've got a little bit of chocolate everywhere. Puff the air out. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to put our silicone mat onto our tray, just like we did before. And it needs a little bit more. I had some pieces that didn't have coating on them. So let's do a little break. Good exercise, right? Almost. I'm going to use my spatula because it's loud and you don't want to listen to it properly. All right. I have plenty of powdered sugar in the very bottom. All right. Let me put that seal on one more time and do another quick shake. Again, remember to put your seal on and puff the air out of it. Make sure it's on all the way. Start shaking because otherwise we're going to be wearing it. All right, that's looking pretty good. Some people call this puppy chow. Some people call this Muddy Buddies. I think it's Muddy Buddies if it has the peanut butter on. All right. So we're going to sprinkle this out and make like a little layer of this. Okay. And now we're going to move to the one that had the brownie mixture. So this bowl was a little bit smaller. We want to make sure they all got tossed away. I was running out of bowls. All right, I'm going to move bowls. So there we go. We'll use the bigger bowl. Want a bowl that's a little bit bigger. So again, put your seal on, puff the air out of it. Just drop it and roll up. All right. And that is going to go in here. All righty. And we've got this all on here. And now what we're going to do is some of the chocolate is still kind of wet. We're going to add some of the candy corn in here. And some more of the Reese's Pieces. So we need about a cup and a half of Reese's Pieces. Here we go. That's probably enough. Doesn't have to be exact. Now, here comes our gloves again, because we're going to kind of press this mixture in, because remember the chocolate is still just a little bit damp. And we want to get some of this to kind of stick together so that when you grab a bite of this, you're getting a mixture. There we go. And I'm flipping it up a little bit. There we go. Oh, you guys, this is going to be so delicious. And again, we're just going to set this off to the side and kind of let it firm up a little bit. So let me shoot my camera down and I'll have an opportunity to see how pretty this looks. Let me spread that out a little bit more. All right, here it is. Yum. So I want you to picture that in one of our beautiful canisters. Wouldn't that be gorgeous? Okay, so we're going to put this off to the side now as well. All righty. Now, next, we're going to talk about one of our newer items. Yeah, that is our silicone bags. Oh my gosh, these are so amazing. So these can be used for so many things, food and non-food items. So when I travel, I like to put my liquid items in them because you know what? Sometimes if you put shampoo and things in your not your carry-on, but on your pack luggage, I've had it explode before. And so that can make a mess in your clothes. So I love having these so I can have my shampoo and even sunscreen and things like that inside of this. What's so awesome is the zipper, and I'm going to show you that in just a minute. But I want you to take a look at this. It has a wide gusset, and that allows them to stand on their own. Look at how that balances just on my fingers. Isn't that amazing? So for those of you that like to do meal prep, you'll love this. This is great also for kids to take their lunch in. You could put a sandwich inside the smaller one because sometimes it's hard for them to open up the sandwich keepers, but this is a really easy item for even a little kindergartners to be able to open this up. So what we're going to make right now is some popcorn. So I'm just going to take a little popcorn and some canola oil, and we're going to zip this up. So here's what I want to show you. So look at the teeth on this. Isn't that awesome? So we are going to just zip this. You start at one end, and I'm going to turn my camera down so you can watch. And you just slowly keep zipping all the way to the very end. And you want to make sure that the entire thing is zipped up. Now, if I was making a freezer meal, I would zip it all the way. But because I'm making this popcorn, I want to leave a tiny little air hole there, but look how little it is. It's so tiny that popcorn can't escape. just enough for a little bit of air to escape. And then I'm gonna do a little massaging of this, all right? And then we are gonna put this in the microwave for 2 minutes, and you are just going to die when you see what happens. So before I put this in there, I just thought about something. I need to put something else in the microwave because our next recipe has a requirement for some melted butter, and I want to get started on that. So I'm going to put my Ziploc bag over here of popcorn, and I'm going to start with a stick of butter in our microwave measuring cup. So I love these. You put your cover on top of this and put that into the microwave. So it's going to be really, really cool. Wait till you see what happens. But you know what? Before I put this into the microwave, I just thought of something. I want to do something else. So I'm going to put my bag right over here. We'll come back to that in a second. My next recipe that I want to start while that's in the microwave, I need melted butter for. So this is our microwave measuring cups, and they're little pitchers. This is a 2-cup and a 1-cup. They do nest inside of one another when you're not using them. But I'm going to use the 1-cup inverted as a cover because I don't want my butter to splatter all over. So I'm going to put this into the microwave for about 30 seconds, and then we're going to make something else, right? All right, so let me get all my yummies over here. So I've already started this. I've got a bowl of popcorn. See, so about 6 quarts of popcorn that I have right here. And this is a really expensive popcorn if you go to the store to try to buy it. So that's why I love being able to make this. So the first ingredient is wasabi peas. So these have a little kick to them. And we are going to use a cup of the wasabi peas. All right, so let me put that right here and spread that on top of my popcorn. All right, let's check the butter, see how it is. Okay, it's looking good. Looking good. I think I need to get one more little spatula though. There we go. Let's stir that around. Okay, so we've got our peas in here. We're also going to put some honey roasted peanuts in here. So we need a cup of those. Sprinkle those around. And then I'm going to add one more thing to this recipe. It's not on the recipe, but it's something really tasty. We have this old pack of rice crackers, okay? And these are Japanese rice crackers, and this is about a cup as well. So yeah, just a little over a cup. We'll put those in there as well. So that's kind of a fun thing when you're making a popcorn recipe. You can be a little bit creative. All right, so we've got our popcorn. Oh, I forgot to put this one in. Let's put this in real quick. So we've got our popcorn, and we've added our wasabi pea crackers, our honey roasted peanuts. We've added our rice crackers as well. So now we've got our butter, and what we're going to do is we're going to add some soy sauce and also some sesame oil in there, and also some dry ginger. Okay. And I'm going to stir that all up and make sure we get it thoroughly. Oh my gosh, it's so good. We want to make sure that we thoroughly mix up those oils and that ginger with the butter. So I put that popcorn in for 2 minutes, and in a minute you're going to hear it start popping, and then we know it's done. There was the first pop. We know it's done when it actually stops the pop. So, you know, a couple things that this is really great for. If you just want a quick afternoon snack, this is perfect because you just put a little popcorn and a little bit of canola oil in your silicone bag, throw it in the microwave, 2 minutes, voila, you have it. You can just add your seasonings or salt, whatever you like on yours, and you're ready to go. Isn't that the coolest thing ever? I know, right? All right. So we need to stir this up and mix it up. So I'm just gonna put the seal on. I'm listening to that popcorn. I want to keep your ears on it because you want to make sure that once it stops popping, ooh, good. So I want you to notice, look at that. It's all mixed up now. It's still popping. So we're going to take that popcorn that I made and I'm going to add it right to this. And then we're going to drizzle this and stir it all over this yumminess. And that is going to be delicious. All right. Look, can you see? We got a bag full of popcorn. How cool is that? All right, so I'm going to open it up away from me. Ooh, because you don't want to get that facial. Well, maybe you do. So we're going to just dump that into this bowl. Let's hot little bag. All righty. And now we're just going to pour this over the top. And do a little stirring. And this is going to be absolutely delicious. Here we go. Last little bit. The smell of this is so amazing. Wow. Think of what we've already accomplished. We made popcorn in a bag. We made a gourmet popcorn that if you were to buy this, you would get a fraction of this. And you know what? It would cost you probably $10, I bet, for a small little thing of it. And we made that for probably a third of the price. So again, I'm gonna mix this all together. I'm gonna get the peanuts and the wasabi peas and make sure everything is all coated. This looks delicious. You know what they say when you use your hands? That means it's mixed with love. All righty. So as you serve this out, you just want to make sure you get a little bit of all the awesome goodness. All right. So let's take a look. Isn't that awesome? It's so pretty. And it tastes even better than it looks. All right, so we've got our popcorn. And I'm going to bring this over because it's not quite done. I should have probably put it in the freezer, but it'll give you a little bit of an idea. So you see how firm it starts to get. And this is what's so cool. Look how that just pops right off like that. And so to serve this, you literally just break it off into chunks just like that. And that is a serving piece. So this needs a little bit more time to set up. Again, if you're in a big rush, you can also put it into the freezer, but it'll harden up just at room temperature. And then you also have this yummy deliciousness as well. So, you know, a couple of things. With the holidays, one of the things that is so great is that you can make these up and put them in Tupperware, whether you put them in a pretty Tupperware bowl or you put them in one of our gorgeous giftable canisters. These make great gifts for coworkers, for, you know, I always like to give something to like the person that delivers my mail. I put things out for my FedEx driver and my UPS driver because they give us service all year long. And while I give them things, especially during the summer, I like to give them cold drinks. I always like to give them something at Christmas too. And so giving them something to eat and something to keep is awesome. If you're going to somebody's home for dinner, you know, take a bowl of some homemade popcorn or candy that you've made. Again, it's something to eat and something to keep. Every time they use that container, they're going to think about you. And that's one of the best parts about making your own. So I look forward to having you chat in and tell me which of these recipes that you think looks the most delicious and that you're excited to try. And then I'm going to be posting the recipes in just a little bit. So thanks for joining me again today. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.